Welcome to your yoga for balance and posture routine. This is an all standing yoga practice that is perfect for those over 50, like myself. I'm 58, also perfect for beginners. And it's going to be an osteoporosis friendly routine for those who have concerns about osteoporosis or osteopenia, like me. All you will need is a block. We'll use that in a bit. Stand on your mat or any hard non-slip surface. We're going to begin by finding a tall posture in mountain pose. And so you can think about joint stacking, stacking your hips over your ankles, your shoulders over your hips, crown of your head tall to the ceiling, arms by your side. We're going to warm up with a simple breathing routine that will involve a little bit of stretching as well. So let's start with our arms in a W shape. Starting to feel wide across the chest. We'll be thinking about that a lot today. It's important for our posture to reverse this kind of slumped overness that we get. Next, inhale, reach your arms out in a big Y shape. So widening your shoulder blades on your back, widening across your front. Take a breath in here. Exhale, elbows back down. We'll repeat that a few times. Inhale, reach out wide, feeling your whole body expand with your breath. Exhale, elbows back in. Inhale, wide. Exhale, back in. Let's just do one more. Inhale, wide. Exhale, back in. Now we're going to move our fingertips to the outside of the ears, the temples, wherever is comfortable. Open up your elbows a little bit. They don't have to come way far back, but a little bit apart. And again, think about widening across the front. Your shoulder blades might come together a little bit in the back this time. Imagine lifting your chest toward the ceiling. We're going to start doing some spinal warm-ups with some forward bending and back bending. So this is our back bending position. It's not a big back bend, it's just a lifting of the chest, a little bit of engagement of the upper back muscles. And then for our forward fold, we're really only going to take a small forward curve by letting your chin come toward your chest, rounding a little bit just in the upper back. Your elbows can come in to some degree. Exhale here. Go the other way. We'll do this a few times. This is a standing cat-cow. Now, if you have osteoporosis of the spine, you might have been told not to forward fold. And you certainly want to avoid any extreme forward folds. This, we're doing the most little baby version of a forward fold. And so that would be safe for most. Always check with your doctor. Most fractures and osteoporosis are a result of falls. That's the real high risk, which is why we're going to be doing some balance work today. Okay, now we can combine the first and the second exercise if we like, taking the arms forward, small roll forward, and then as you come up, reach the arms up and out in your Y shape. You might even think about the Y and the M and the YMCA, so this is kind of our M. Hands can stay here or be there. And then a big breath into your Y. Let's do that just two more times. Small round forward. Remember, even smaller if you have osteoporosis. If you don't, you can round more if that's comfortable for your back. And then big inhale, finding space. Last one. Small round. Inhale, open up and release. So hopefully your upper back is already starting to feel warm. Next of our moves for our spine is going to be our side to side. That's 3 and 4 out of our 6 directions of the spine. We're going to reach our arms wide. We're going to start by a simple reach from side to side. So it looks like I'm reaching with my arms, but I'm really trying to move my ribs in one direction and then in the other direction. You'll notice my lower body isn't moving. My hips are just coming along for the ride, but I'm really trying to let most of this move happen from the waist up. You could have your hands on your waist if you'd like, or on your ribs to feel that rib cage movement. So we want our spines to be able to move freely and supplely. That's really going to help us at any age, but it's going to help our bodies to feel more mobile as we get older. Okay, arms come down. Take the feet a little bit wider. That's up to you. A stance that feels comfortable for you. We're going to now do another lateral stretch. Now you can keep both feet facing forward, or you can turn the foot that in the direction that we're going to go in a little bit out. If you'd like, we're going to go to your right first. Let your right hand stay on your thigh. Lift your left arm overhead and start to reach, still thinking about moving the ribs out in the opposite direction as you bend, and then come back up. We'll do this 2 more times. You might notice we're doing dynamic movements to start. That's to help warm up your body. It's really important as we get older that we get our muscles, our tissues used to the movements as we move in and out. That was our last one. Other side, switch the position of your feet if you like. Let your left hand help stabilize on your thigh. Reach your right arm. And then again, finding a few lateral stretches on this side. Moving in and out. Your movements might be faster or slower than mine. Go at your own pace. And then come up. Okay, so our spine moves forward and back, side to side, and twisting side to side are our 5 and our 6 movements. For this, we're going to stagger our feet. Take your right foot a little bit ahead of your left. As soon as we stagger, we're having to practice balance. You'll see this again during this practice. Let's open the arms again. Now, if you do have osteopenia or osteoporosis of the spine, you also want to avoid extreme twists. So if that's you, you're going to twist in the direction opposite your front leg. So if it's your right leg forward, you're going to twist left. And you can come in and out of that a few times, just like we did with the lateral stretch. You can also have your arms in more of this bear hug position. It's really all around the torso that's moving. If you don't have any osteoporosis issues, you can twist in the same side as the front leg. So if your right leg's forward, you can twist right. That's going to be a little bit of a tighter, a stronger twist. And again, if you don't have any issues that prevent it, you might choose to go back and forth a few times. Okay, arms down. Let's find the other side. So your left foot comes forward this time. You can adjust the feet wider apart. That will provide more stability if your balance is already starting to feel shaky. So every time we stagger, we're in an asymmetrical position. We're challenging the balance. Remember, with your left foot forward, turning the opposite way toward your right is going to be less intense twist. So let's do that if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia issues. And then you can keep going to that side, or if you don't have any issues, you can go the other direction. So I was diagnosed with osteopenia in my right hip a few years ago. I'm 58 now. And let's do a few to either side again, if it's okay for your back. For me, I haven't found that it limits how I practice at all to this point. But I do really emphasize balance work in my practice to help make sure that I can remain balanced, that I'm not at risk of falls. Okay, come back to your mountain pose. Take a moment to check in. How does your back feel? We've dynamically warmed it up in several different directions, all the directions that your back can move in. Take a breath in. Let's just do one of those Y breaths. Hands by your side and your W. Breathe in, open into your Y. Exhale and release. Okay, grab your block. So if you don't have a block, that's okay. You don't need one. It just helps a little bit with feeling what we're doing. You can also use a towel or another small object, a small pillow. We're going to take the block right between the thighs. Now you put it where it feels comfortable for you, somewhere where you feel like you can squeeze gently in on the block. So this is where it's helpful when we are trying to build muscle strength and bone strength, both of which we want as we get older. We want to hug the skin in toward the muscles in toward the bone. So think about hugging in on the block. Think about pulling the muscles in toward the bone. And we're going to do a few mini chair poses coming in and out. If you want to think about centering your upper body as well, you can press your hands together. And so sit back like you're sitting in a chair and then come right back up. You decide on how low to go. You get to choose. Now we're bending from the hips, the knees, the ankle joints. You may well hear some cracks along the way. That is okay. We're lubricating all of those big joints. Remember to pull in, feel like you're gathering in, giving the block a gentle squeeze each time you go down. And then last time, down and up. Next time we're going to hold, and here's where we're going to sustain for a little bit to build some strength. So go down to where you feel you can sustain for about a half a minute or so. Now you can keep your hands pressed together like this. If you feel that you're starting to round forward, again, we want to keep the spine elongated. We want to keep the arms plugged into the shoulder blades. So going back to that W position is a great place to be here. You could also try that kind of bear hug position with nice wide open arms. And yes, we're holding for just a few more breaths here. Perhaps you can feel sensation in your legs as we really activate. Last breath, exhale, release, but keep the block there. You can let go of some of the pressure. We're going to do one more thing with the block. So remember we talked about we don't want to do extreme forward folding with osteopenia or osteoporosis. We're going to do some safe forward folding, some limited forward folding. So unlike when we just sat down in our chair pose, the forward folding action, our knees are going to be just a little bent, but it's going to mainly happen from the flexion right here at our hips, not so much at the ankles. So let's put the hands on the thighs, and you can think of not just support for your upper body, but also keeping your chest lifted. Remember, we don't want to round the upper back. So start to soften your knees, and then you can actually use your fingertips in your hip crease to remind you to send your butt back this time rather than down. So we're starting to fold. Our chest is starting to come forward, but not down. Think about taking it more to me. Rest your hands on your thighs. Now, if you feel you can fold more at the hips without rounding the back, keeping your back long, go to where that feels sustainable to you, where there's length from the crown of your head to your tailbone, an elongated spine, no rounding, perhaps even a little bit of a back bend if you lift your chest up a little bit more. And then we'll stay. Anytime that you're ready to come up, before I cue that, you get to do that. You get to decide on your own pace. Use your full nurturing breaths to sustain you here. Last breath in the pose, and then as you exhale, you can push into your feet, root down to rise up. Take the block aside. We'll use it later. We don't need it now. Take one moment to assess how you feel again. Check in with yourself. Notice your effort. And then I'm going to step sideways. You can turn so that you're facing the short end of your mat if you're not there already. A little bit more asymmetrical work, both strength and balance. So we'll start here by planting your left leg strong in the floor and then lift just the heel of your right. Notice how that's shifting your body. Go back to finding your joint stacking, your knees over your ankle, though it's going to be a little different on your bent leg. Hips over your knees, over your ankle, shoulder over hips, head tall. And then we're going to take a step back with the right foot into a lunge. So take a step back. Remember that you get to decide how far to step back, how wide your feet are. Now I'm going to stay on the ball of my back foot. That is more of a balance challenge. If that is really a struggle, you can put a hand on the wall or simply plant the back foot, back toes turn out a little bit in more of a warrior position rather than a crescent lunge. If you're here in the crescent lunge with me, bend your front knee. Let your front knee be bent over the front ankle. Straighten the back leg by pressing the heel away. And again, I'm going to press my hands together in front for a little bit more idea of pulling everything to center and balancing. And we'll bend straighten a few times. So that dynamic movement, definitely hear the joints talking to me on this move. You might be bending just the back leg or the back and the front. And then stay down to whatever point your front knee can remain bent, while once again straightening the back leg. And we'll try a little forward hover here. So hands at center. We're going to take that bend from the hip crease. Remember, we're hinging forward only the amount that the back can stay long. And you can see here, this is what I don't want. I'm not taking a nosedive. I'm taking my back nice and long. If it helps you to open the arms in that W position, go ahead and do that. A lot of work for our front legs. So we'll just take one more breath here. And then exhale, stand up tall, step your back foot in. Take a moment to appreciate the floor supporting you, and we'll do the second side. So right leg remains stable now. Just the left heel lifts so we can take a moment to notice this asymmetrical position, allow our bodies to feel. So we find that equilibrium for ourselves. And then step back to any degree with your left foot, finding your lunge. Going wider apart with your feet can help with the balance. A shorter lunge can also help. Hips are sinking, so we still have that joint stacking of shoulders over hips. Then push the back heel away with the front knee still bent. You might see that I'm wobbling a bit here. And we'll bend and straighten a few times, finding that dynamic movement to lubricate the joints. You may have heard the term motion is lotion before. Then find the degree that you can keep your front knee bent in your lunge. Send the heel of your back foot away. Remember, you can plant your back foot in a warrior stance if this feels just too wobbly for today. I'm fairly wobbly on this side. And then we'll find our hip hinge. I'll start with my hands at heart center. Hinging forward, we're bringing a little bit more weight into the front foot. Ooh, the muscles of that front leg are really going to begin talking to us. So let's take just one more breath here. All right, and then stand upright, step forward. I'm going to turn back around. Take a breath or two in mountain pose. Assess your effort. Let your effort wash over you. Okay, a little bit more asymmetrical balance work. Make sure you stay for our pinnacle pose at the end, where that's where we'll do our one-legged balance. But we'll do a little bit more asymmetrical work first. We're going to start with something really simple, just a march. So go ahead and march whenever you're ready, noticing how when you just simply march from right to left, your weight transfers each time. Now my mat is actually a little cushy. The cushier the mat or the surface you're on, that will challenge your balance more. So if you're finding this really difficult, go to a more solid surface, be on a hardwood floor. Now this might seem easy. Yeah, marching, I got it, I can march. Start to slow it down. As soon as we start to slow things down, one leg has to hover in the air longer. Now we're going from just an asymmetrical movement to a one-legged balance. So notice how you challenge yourself. You might have to touch down like I just did. If this is doable, if you're ready to spice things up a little further as you march, you can add an opposite arm reach. So as we do that, obviously we increase the complexity. We up the balance challenge because whenever we move any limb, including the arms, further away from the body, it is more of a balance challenge. But we're also starting to work a little bit on brain health because when we give our brain a more complex task, maybe something that we don't do over the course of our everyday normal day, we are definitely encouraging our brain to work to strengthen. If you like to hover for longer, especially if one foot, one side is giving you a little more trouble, maybe you stay, let your body get used to that a little bit more. Do that on the other side. It's fine to hold on to a wall. You can start with maybe fingertips and go to one finger as you let your body adapt to this balance. All right, come down. Here's where you're going to need your block again. Grab your block, place it on the low height next to your feet on the ground. Just as simple as we did with the marching, we're going to start with a simple move of stepping over the block one way, stepping over the block the other way. Again, may feel super easy. So how do we make this more challenging? Well, same way we did with marching. We slow it down. So we have to hover more in space. Think about your super slow-mo. Now, of course, you can also make it more challenging by slipping the block to a higher height. You could use multiple blocks or a small stool. But take your time with this, finding your own way. Once you've done side to side, you can turn to face the block and practice stepping over. So I step forward with my right foot, and then, oh yeah, spicy going backward with my right foot. You almost saw me lost it there. Forward with the left. So again, a brain challenge by going in a direction that we can't see, not trying to make ourselves lose our balance and fall over. In fact, obviously that's what we're trying to avoid. All right, finishing up with your block movers. You can practice that more on your own. Think about it, think about when you have to get in and out of a bathtub or a car or something else. So this is real functional yoga practice for you here. All right, this is our little pinnacle balance pose. We're going to practice tree pose. We're going to do a grounded tree today. So let's put the weight into your right foot. Turn out from your left hip. That's really important, that external rotation here. Slide the left foot so that the heel comes over the ankle of the right. Your ball of your left foot is on the ground. Hands come to center. This is what I mean by grounded tree. Our bent leg is serving as a little anchor. Now, if you do want more challenge, I think this is a great place of plenty of challenge, but if you want to spice it up a little bit for yourself, you can take that block, put it flat. I encourage you to have it flat. So same leg, right leg is stable, left turns out the hip. This time as you slide it in, place the ball of the foot on the block so it's a little bit higher. Heel of the bent knee foot, so your left leg is going to go now a little bit more on your calf. You can place your hands at heart center. Remember that opening them wide or anywhere away from the body is going to up the challenge. Changing your gaze ups the challenge also. And when you're ready, come out of that pose and then start to let the left leg be anchored. Turn out the right from the hip joint. So from where the femur, the thigh bone turns into the hip. Slide the foot in so that the heel rests over the ankle. Maybe you're not used to doing this version, and just something new, even if it seems or looks easy, can be a challenge for our bodies. If you want to try it with the block, have the block in between your feet, stabilize your standing leg first, turn out from the other leg, slide the foot in so that the ball of the foot is always grounded, heel is on the inside of the opposite leg. Find a position for your hands at center or move them away in any position. It can be up, wide. This is our biggest balance challenge for this class. Last breath in, exhale, release. And we'll finish with 3 more of those Y breaths. This time just emphasizing the back bend a little bit more because this whole class we've opened across the front. So come and start with the arms in your W position. Again, elbows back just a little bit, chest forward just enough to feel like there's some expansion there. Take a breath in, reach wide into your Y. Exhale, pull the arms in, shoulder blades come a little more together and down. Inhale, shoulder blades wide as you reach out and tall, still joint stacking, still feeling our nice posture and length. Exhale, elbows down. One more time. Inhale, reach and open. Exhale, elbows down. So that was your posture and balance yoga routine for today. What did you think? How does your body feel now? I read every single comment, so I would love to hear what you think. Give me a thumbs up to like this video. Subscribing helps my channel as well. I am so glad you're here, and I do hope to see you again.